welcome to Ridel's channel. I have another shorter glow-up video, and the next doll in line for this is the Twirlin Make-up Teresa from 1997. She has a beautiful face, but it's very dirty. We'll need to clean that. So as her name suggests, she has a twirling skirt, which freely rotates around her waist. She originally comes with an additional plastic underskirt, which you can clip on here, and that allows her actual skirt to lie flat and easily rotate. Also, these jewels hide a fun little secret, which again, as her name says, are little makeup cases. So you could remove these jewels and find makeup hidden underneath. Altogether, there were 3 jewels of this type, all placed in different parts of her skirt. Now, one drawback about her skirt is that it is permanently fixed on her waist. You can't take it off, and in addition to that, Teresa's waist is also not the typical waist you would see on a 90s doll. Now, besides the face, this doll is very dirty and you can see it on her legs. So she absolutely desperately needs a deep cleanup. Now I have no choice but to wash her with her skirt on, and I can see it is completely covered with glitter. However, this glitter sheds with the slightest touch. It's pretty much everywhere, so I'm pretty sure it will not survive the wash. Now, after a closer inspection of her face, I'm also certain that the makeup which came with her actually ended up being used on her face. So I'm hoping that we can get this off. Oh, and before I forget, she actually came with her original makeup set, and I have it right here. I believe that this was lip gloss, eyeshadow, and a blush. I might be wrong about the order though. Looking at her hair, I can also see that most of her original crimps are still intact. Now, because how dirty she is, I do think she needs a proper cleanup, which includes washing her hair. So right now I'm not 100% sure what happens to these crimps. So as always, let's start by brushing out the hair to get rid of all the knots. I prefer doing this while the hair is still dry, and I like to use a pet brush for this step. Her hair is fairly unified, but there are a couple of really long strands which don't seem to be loose, so I will just trim these at the end. Now I'll just make sure that her hair is properly brushed also from the downside. And of course a quick brush for her bangs. I managed to do a little oopsie by pulling out a couple of hair strands, but because her hair is in really good shape, I'm able to put these strands back behind her bangs. I wanted to test how well this comb glides through her hair, and I found that she actually still has quite tangled hair, even after being brushed. So I gave her a little extra combing. This doll has an incredible amount of hair, it's so thick. I don't think I've seen a doll with this much hair before. Also, it's rooted really well because she hasn't lost almost any hair in this process. The brushing smoothed out the crimps a little bit, so let's see what happens after the wash. First, I'll place her into this pail, and let's remove the jewel covers from her skirt to make sure everything is clean. Next, I'll add a dash of dishwashing liquid and fill the pail with hot water. The water is just so hot that I can still put my hands into it. And then I let her soak for a couple of hours. After that, I can see that her legs are still very dirty, so it's time to give her a really good scrub. So I'll start doing this with a toothbrush to loosen up the really stubborn dirt. I'll also get these out of the way, but make sure that they're all clean. Next, I'll switch to sponge because it's better in removing stubborn dirt. And in this case, I also need a bit more dishwashing liquid. After this, her legs seem to be clean, so I'll go ahead and wash her skirt. Because she has her skirt on, I don't want to use baking soda this time, just to be sure I don't damage it in any way. I will also scrub the insides of the makeup cases. and wash every individual layer of her skirt. Then we get to her hair, which I wash with just generic shampoo. Because her hair is so thick, it takes a long time, and I want to make sure that it's really nice and clean. Then I rinse out the shampoo and continue with adding some conditioner. I like to be really generous with it and take my time to work it in really well. Then I take my fine tooth comb and I very gently comb through the hair while it's completely covered in conditioner. I'm being very gentle here, not to snap, break, or damage her hair in any way. Then it's time to rinse out the conditioner as best as I can. And because I can still see the crimps in her hair, I decided not to do a boil wash this time. I'm not sure what will happen, but I'm gonna take this as a little experiment. So before I move on, I just make sure that every part of this doll and her skirt is really well rinsed, so that there's no conditioner residue left on her. Then I gently squeeze out all the excess water from her hair and double check that she's cleaned up properly. Alright, it seems like she's good to go. And here's Twirling Make-up Teresa all cleaned up, dressed up, and ready to twirl. She's missing most of her original accessories, but I gave her these matching shoes, which I don't think are original Mattel, but this was the closest color match for her. As for the skirt, it retained a little bit of the glitter, which I predicted that is gonna be completely washed away. So I'm happy about that. Also, as you can see, I've attached a plastic underskirt to the holder to show you how it works. See, it makes rotating the skirt much easier. I have to admit, this is pretty fun. What do you think about this fun little concept? I also returned the little makeup cases back into these holders, and don't worry, I'm not planning on using them, but I am going to keep them as a time capsule. Sadly, her necklace and ring are still missing. Now I want to talk a little bit about her hair. First of all, I'm noticing that the hair looks different on camera than in reality. The hair looks coarse, but it is soft, and the crimps look a bit better in real life. It might also have to do with the lighting, because if I zoom out, it looks a bit better, doesn't it? And if I zoom in, it almost looks like she has a bit of a bird nest. But she doesn't. The crimps actually remain pretty well defined. But that's it for Teresa's quick glow up. Let me know what you think, and let me know if you enjoy these shorter videos, or do you prefer the longer projects? Because I love doing both. And what do you think about these fun 90s gimmicks? Did you have this doll and did you enjoy this feature? I honestly miss them, and I wish they would return. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, but for now, thank you for watching this video, and I wish you a wonderful day.